Hey guys, Ben here. Welcome back to another live stream. And in today's live stream, we are here with Flashverse. This is the DCTV show episode 92, and this is a pre-Flash live stream. So the Flash is coming on later tonight for episode 4, which is titled "The Mask of the Red Death" Part 1. So the first part of the two-part finale for this graphic novel. So obviously we have a lot to look forward to. Plus, earlier this week, we got some of our last set photos of the Flash ever, and they were huge. Everyone freaking out about everything to do with the Flash because of all the speedsters returning from the past. So for now, let's go ahead and get into this live stream. We have a lot of topics. Like I said, those two, so tonight's episode and the set photos from the finale. Mainly, we saw those photos from like Canadagraphs and some other sources. Not sure if I'm going to pop them up. I just wanted to mention that straight up. And yeah, so welcome to everyone that has joined in the live chat. I see Willie Jackson, a member of the channel. Nathan's here. Luz is here. Grace. Nathan. Oh, I already said Nathan. Sorry. Double shout out to Nathan. Canadagraphs is here. He says, "Hi, first time viewer, long time message poster. Do you think Melissa Benoist will come back in the Flash finale and beat all the species by herself while also writing an article about it?" Yeah, that's been confirmed, Canadagraphs. Yeah, Flashverse can back me up on that, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
She's definitely coming back.
Yeah. Also, Willie Jackson has been a member for 3 months, so shout out to Willie Jackson. We'll talk about your question in a minute, Willie. But yeah, as we start this stream, I want to remind you guys, if you want to support the channel and be featured on a live stream, please be sure to send in super chats. You can send in super chats by clicking the $ underneath the chat function, and you'll be sending in a question, whether it's a topic, a theory, or an idea that links towards what we're saying, or it's something slightly different. That's okay. You'll be sending in the question and we'll pop up on the screen. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this. So how are you doing, Flashverse? Are you looking forward to tonight's episode?
I'm doing good. I just came back from the gym, and yeah, we have the Flash to look forward to now.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna keep low expectations this time, because for 3 weeks now I've been disappointed.
Yeah, you haven't been like such a fan, because if you guys didn't know, we've been doing some watch parties pretty much, I think, every week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been doing watch parties on Flashverse's channel, and you can see our live reaction there. I feel like I'm a little bit more positive on the last 3 episodes, although I agree on a lot of stuff. Like, I think the last 2 episodes have been pretty mid, but I really enjoyed the first episode. So I'm hoping that tonight's episode is going to really start the ending of Red Death's story in a good way, and we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. So
it's better, or else there's like a big rant video coming at the end of the week.
Just like when we had the Godspeed story and it was like super disappointing, right?
This feels like the Godspeed story already. Like, they're definitely saving the villain for last minute. I know we're going to talk about it soon, but I don't even think they're going to fight this episode.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would hope that they have a lot of stuff that they can do in this episode, because traditionally a 2-part episode is a big episode. You know, like, you think 2-part episode, you think the Zoom episode when we went to Earth 2, you know, for the very first time, those 2 episodes were like crammed with stuff and like super interesting. But recently the 2-parters have just been like really just in the title. Like, I don't feel like these 2 episodes are going to be any too different from these last 3 episodes, really. Apart from,
Me neither.
yes, you're going to get a little bit more Red Death.
But I'm going to call it. The episode is going to end with Barry destroying whatever time machine she's working on, and that's going to be it. Also, I'm disappointed.
Wreak havoc.
There's another thing you forgot in, supporting the channel, and it is
yes, get the merch, guys. The merch. So link is the top link in the description. So if you want to buy the merch, please be sure to get it. I did say that we were going to stop doing it, but I haven't actually shut it down yet, so you guys can do it, because I'm going to be releasing a second round, and hopefully it's going to be very good. But yeah, link in the description below to that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into our Flash pre-episode talk. What's up?
Oh, the chat's just funny.
Wow. Anyway, we'll get into the chat, but yeah, keep sending questions, guys, and send in super chats if you want to be featured, and we'll be sure to go ahead and answer your questions. Okay, so in tonight's episode 4, The Master of Red Death Part 1, hopefully, and we said this before, well, just before we started the stream, we're thinking we will find out who Red Death really is. Do you actually think we're going to find out? Is it Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman? Is it some other like broken Batwoman, kind of like a Savitar, or, you know, whatever?
See, I personally think it's still an alternate like timeline. It's like a Savitar type thing. That's what I think it is. I don't really think it makes sense for it to be Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman.
Yeah.
Because like, if you think about it, right, in Reverse Flashpoint, Batwoman was still Batwoman, and they name dropped someone called Lady in Red, who we're assuming to be the Red Death. So you can't really have two Batwomans at the same time over there.
Yeah, it just doesn't make much sense unless there was another Batwoman from a different timeline.
But also the other thing is, if she was Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman, or like if we're saying she's Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman, here's another thing: we know Speedster's immune to timeline changes, which is why she's after the Flash, because the Flash pretty much got rid of her timeline, right?
Yeah.
But when in Reverse Flashpoint did Batwoman become Red Death for her to just end up in the timeline straight away? Because as far as we know, she was with Iris the whole time while Barry was fighting Reverse Flash.
Yeah, I mean, we really, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still like thinking about all of this, and I don't exactly remember everything that went down in Armageddon. So you're the better theorizer in regards to that.
I still think it's like some version of like a future version of Batwoman, like a Savitar type thing. I don't really think it is anything to do with Reverse Flashpoint.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel pretty aligned to that. Like, I don't think it's going to be Reverse Flashpoint. Maybe it's somewhat related, but I still think it's more like Savitar, as you say. So,
and we can talk about why it could be related, but still, I don't think it's going to be Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman though.
Paige is here. And Paige says, "Looks like Eric Wallace pretty much made the Red Death arc into a Tumblr fan fiction." Do you agree?
I'll just say the Red Death arc so far is disappointing. Like, these last 2 episodes need to make me go wow for me to say like something. Yeah. But again, I don't think Red Death will be able to save this arc, in my opinion. That's just how I feel so far.
Yeah, and I feel like I pretty much agree with what you said earlier. It feels like a Godspeed story like they did in that previous season, where it was like super hype. Everyone was like, oh my God, they're doing Godspeed. Now everyone's like, oh my God, they're doing Red Death. They have these few cool moments, but beyond that, the story is so condensed. It's in like 5 episodes, and they don't really fully come out and somewhat explain what they're doing until like the final 2 episodes, and you're like, okay, that's cool, but like that's super condensed, and you can tell that you've been rushed for time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we need, I don't know, I feel like what's the point in these interlude episodes apart from the Nier episode, which I'm very excited for? You could do one interlude and you can like have, I don't know, even just one more episode where you can have like a proper extra, I don't know, like 45 minutes of Red Death, and obviously it won't be exclusively Red Death, but as people have said before, and I think you said it, a lot of this season, Eric Wallace has said, oh, we ran out of time to do this, we ran out of time to do that, but then he's putting in these like time filler segments in the episodes, right? And so why can't we have more Red Death? Well, I think that's just like a storytelling thing that they haven't fully cracked down, or they don't realize they have that time.
I think they were kind of at fault with episode 3 as well. Like, with episode 3, they should have definitely done something with Red Death, other than him just going, "Where's your speed now, Flash?" and saying, "I am vengeance." They should have definitely done more. Because like, if you think about it, right? Say we go back to season 2, episode 6, the Zoom episode. We've talked about this before. That episode as a whole, overall, you will not remember the first 35 minutes. The only thing you would remember is Zoom beating the Flash up, and that's it.
Yeah.
That episode was a very, very mid episode until Zoom came in and beat the Flash up. Something like that should have happened in this episode. In my opinion, in episode 3, the Flash and Red Death should have at least fought in some way. Whether it's Red Death takes the Flash's speed and just beats him up or something like that, something should have happened. And also, Red Death had no reason to leave any of the Rogue Squad alive. She could have easily killed Goldface, Jacob Birch. There just needed to be something for it to go like, whoa. That's just what I think.
There needs to be more of a shock factor. I feel like they did just enough with Red Death going up, revealing herself, and facing off against Barry. But she literally, as you said, she literally just went up to Barry, said, "I'm vengeance." And then just ran away and didn't even attack any of the Rogue Squad. And she knows that they're causing, they're going to cause a lot of annoyance towards her. Yes, she might think she's all powerful or anything, but isn't it easier just to kill them on the spot? And we know that Red Death is supposed to be a killer. It's in the name, Red Death, right? So why I feel like they had the opportunity to really set up the stakes, and with that Zoom scene in season 2, they really set up those stakes. They made him scary. With this, they just, kind of scary, but like nothing too scary, because literally all she did was lean over Barry and say, "I'm vengeance," and that's it, right? I just love it that they made her say the Batman line, and that is like the best line in the Batman, but it's just so funny that they replicated it.
I didn't think it was that bad, but I am wondering, right?
Yeah.
Say in a hypothetical situation, they made Stephen Amell Red Death. Would the internet have exploded this bad? I don't think so.
What do you mean, exploded that bad?
Like saying, "Oh, they stole Batman's line. Oh, they stole Batman's line." I think they only did it because those people didn't really know it was Batwoman. That's what I feel like.
Maybe. I don't know. I really didn't pay much attention. Did it actually like fully blow up online?
Yes, especially on TikTok. There were people on TikTok going, "Oh, is this Ben Affleck?" And then she takes the mask off, and they're like, "Who is this?"
They're like, I've never seen Batwoman before. I feel like it's a lot of people that probably just didn't pay attention before, and then they hear "I'm vengeance," and they're like, "Oh shit, it's Ben Affleck, it's Robert Pattinson. Oh my god, like who is it?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's move on to the next point, and those of you guys in the chat keep on chiming in. Anthony says, I am vengeance." Kang, yes, I watched Ant-Man the other day. Pretty entertaining film. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I thought it was decent. Red Death is not faster than Barry, though. Well, we shall see. We don't know that yet. That's kind of what we were discussing. It's like we don't know much about Red Death yet. We know the basics, but
the thing is, Barry couldn't have destroyed her because she has the ability to take Barry's speed.
Yeah, and what was the reason for that again? Do you remember?
Negative speed force. That's the excuse they used.
But
which doesn't make sense.
When Barry faces off against Reverse Flash every time, why doesn't he lose his speed?
I can't remember, but I am pretty sure Arrowverse scenes did say it happened at one point.
Okay.
Me and him were going live, and it did happen at one point. And then also there was this scene in season 5 when Nora had the negative speed force, and like she was able to like do something to Barry without like coming in contact with him. So I don't know though. It's weird. It's very, very weird.
I'm not sure.
I agree though. Yeah. Godspeed's lines are way worse.
That's true.
Tag, you're dead.
Okay, so in tonight's episode, we are thinking Batwoman is going to return. Last episode, we got the teaser that Batwoman was missing. How do you think Batwoman's going to fit into the story?
See, I think Brian Wilder knows what's up. I think like she's met the Speedster before, but in some way she managed to run away. Maybe it's by using the negative velocity weapon or something like that, but she knows that that Speedster will be able to find her eventually, so she's keeping a low profile without like coming in contact with anyone or anything like that. And oh no, the thing I was about to say wouldn't have made too much sense, but I think she's just keeping a low profile. But the person that Iris opens the door for in the trailer, I think, is going to be Ryan Wilder.
Okay.
But
I
also,
don't
there's a
actually remember the trailer because I watched it after the episode.
but the weird bit about that is there's a promo image that they released. Like, it's a image with Iris and Ryan Wilder, and she still had that white streak of hair.
Really?
So
As
that's
a
what
promo
confused me.
image?
It's the Batwoman Twitter account posted it, but you can tell she's speaking to Iris.
Okay, but maybe it was a behind the scenes image, right?
It's definitely a promo image. Like, it's normal promo images they release.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look at that. Let me scroll over to Twitter. On the Batwoman Twitter?
Yeah. It says tonight as well. You can tell she looks like Ryan Wilder, but she has the.
Oh, I see.
So
Look,
here,
guys,
that's
I'm gonna
what's
share it on
confusing me.
screen. Okay, so what are we thinking is going on here then? Here we go.
That's the bit that's confusing me because I could have said Ryan Wilder's just keeping a low profile, and then, like, she's on the run from Red Death. But then the white hair threw me off.
Yeah. Is she possessed and becoming Red Death? I don't know.
I mean, the weird bit about this is we do see Batwoman fight Red Death, so we know there are two separate versions.
Yeah. It's not just the same person, but there's clearly
Yeah.
something else going on. Maybe Red Death is being an imposter pretending to be Ryan here.
And also, once again, with like, if we did say this was Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman, this could have made sense then. But I really don't know. I'm clueless over here.
And are we thinking that the streak signifies anything more than just they're a different version of the character?
Definitely. I think it's just to say it's a different version, in my opinion.
Okay, because like typically they would do like these streaks like with Iris in the future to signify someone being a little bit older. We thinking
Yeah, but
at all
it's
it
just
could
like
be from the
one
future?
bit. Sorry?
Yeah, but what happens if she's just like aging and there's one bit of I don't know. That's just looking into it too much.
But then also, again, like, this could be a bit nitpicky, but if it's a future version of Batwoman, why does she still look the same as she does in present day?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe the
Which I
CGI
know they've been
upgrade.
slacking on it. They've been slacking on it recently, like they did last year as well. But
I mean, they slack
I don't know.
on showing a difference between someone that is from the future all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's been a couple of times where it's like, I don't know, old Oliver Queen on Legends of Tomorrow without an arm or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly.
They did it the best with him though. Like, he actually looked old. Like, if we
Yeah,
went to someone like last year, for example, Iris still had her like short red hair. She still looked the exact same, but supposedly Iris from 2031.
yeah, that's jokes. Nathan says, "Oh my god, Red Death is either pulling a Savitar, fooling them to find out where Iris is." Yes, that's true.
That could be one.
Savitar did 14 Flash at one point, or Red Death has a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing going on. I don't know how their bodies would literally separate. So that's a big question that you have to ask if that's the way that we're looking at it. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but that is very interesting that they released that and that this version of Batwoman, which is most likely Red Death because she's got the streak. And we've seen from behind the scenes photos, Javicia has a streak when she's in the costume, when she's in the Red Death suit. So,
And also, one thing, I really hope they explain this in the episode for this episode. Of all characters in the Arrowverse, why Batwoman? That's what I want to know. Why did the negative forces go for Batwoman? Of all, like, you have all the characters in the Arrowverse, why Batwoman? I hope they explain that as well. Like, there's got to be a reason behind it.
Yeah, I think there will be some reason. Yeah. And like we said before, hopefully they answer it in this episode.
Like, it's definitely not our Ryan Wilder because the two lines Red Death said, the Flash is never truly alone, but once I'm done with him, he will be. And then the Flash has disgraced me, and now Central City will pay the price. They haven't even met yet.
So it's from another timeline, right?
It's either another timeline or it is Batwoman from the future because right now they've never even met yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Well,
Where
that's the two explanations that we can go to right now. Okay, so let's move on to talk about the next bit. And I want to remind you guys who are watching in the live stream, if you do have anything that you want to ask me and Flash first, please be sure to send in super chats and we'll be sure to answer them on stream. I appreciate your support towards the channel. Plus, also you get to ask a question. And then also keep going in the live chat as well, and we'll pick out bits and pieces that are interesting. Okay, Batwoman is playing a role. I just lost it. Playing Red Death based on the comic book. In the comics, she's just playing Red Death. It's a guy. Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne. Sorry, I don't know what you were trying to say, Eric, but they are no timeline. They are on set on the ground. No, that's not what we were saying, Eric. We're just saying that they could be from another timeline, and they've traveled across to our timeline. Okay, so
you know one thing I would absolutely hate if they do this. I really really hope they don't do it. But we
what?
know how like Red Death in the comics is a combination of a speedster and like a Bat family character, that being Batman, right?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if they do EO Bard and Batwoman merged into one, I'm gonna stop watching. I would hate that.
You're just gonna quit forever.
I'm gonna skip the Red Death arc and go on to the next one because the next one looks cool.
Wow.
I have no hopes for this one yet.
So you think the Cobalt Blue arc is gonna be better?
Well,
I think so too.
It better be.
I mean, it has a lot to live up to, and I just hope, like this arc, I hope they don't leave it too late. Do we know how many episodes that graphic novel is going to be at the end of the season?
The Cobalt Blue one.
Yeah.
I hope it's like 8 till 13 or like 9 till 13 at least. But I don't know because we're definitely getting interludes. But then the thing is also, episode 7 and 8 is the episode Dreamers coming in, so that's going to be an interlude. One of them is going to be an interlude. So I don't know. I hope it's 8 till 13, but
yeah,
I really don't
we'll
know.
see. If it's 9 till 13, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 5. That's
actually 9 seems like an interlude as well because you have Bloodwork as the villain, and then you have all of the returning characters.
But potentially, you have to look at it like this: Bloodwork is a past villain from the show, and so are all the other speedsters that have been brought back. So what happens if it's Cobalt Blue organizing Bloodwork to come back? So maybe it could be the start.
Possible. But it can't be because in the Earth Prime comics, that Bloodwork escapes.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's talk about the last couple of things about tonight's episode, and then we'll move on to talk about the finale set photos for The Flash Season 9. Okay, so Barry vs. Red Death, we said that we're thinking probably next episode we'll get a big fight rather than this episode.
Yeah.
Although I guess there's always a chance. More Baby Moon stuff in this episode. I mean, that's nothing that we need to like really go into. There's going to be some funny moments, I guess. Red Death's probably going to unleash havoc on Central City, probably after Barry finds out about like the time. Well, obviously they kind of know what they're trying to make. They're trying to make a cosmic treadmill. But if Barry and Team Flash actually find the machine, I guess there's the potential for them to blow it up and break it, basically, in this episode.
Also, like, why would she need a cosmic treadmill as well? I hope they explain that, because Reverse Flash, he's got the negative speed force. He's more than capable in time traveling without a cosmic treadmill as
And
well.
Godspeed had a cosmic treadmill because
his speed was artificial. It wasn't real.
Was artificial, and then so there is always an explanation needed for such a thing, because if you're a normal speedster, you should be good, right?
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, so Red Death's gonna unleash havoc on Central City, at least begin that havoc, and maybe it's gonna probably continue on to the next episode. And then we also mentioned before the stream that Iris potentially has a reverse flashpoint gun in this episode, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that?
So in the original Flash Season 9 trailer, not the I mean, it could be it could be in this promo as well. I'd have to check, but it was definitely in the original Flash season 9 trailer. There's a shot in episode 4, like she was in the house, it was all dark, and she's pulling something out of the drawer, and it's the negative velocity gun. Now
Yeah.
that gun is something Batwoman gives Iris in Reverse Flashpoint, and they mentioned that this was to take down the Speedster, so it's to slow down the Speedster, and they specifically name dropped the lady in red.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that Iris has this weapon is kind of worrying me because that would be a deleted timeline. So how would she have it? I'm hoping Ryan Wilder comes for help and then she gives Iris that weapon,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise it wouldn't make too much sense if
Yeah.
that's the case. But they have name dropped Red Death and Reverse Flashpoint. They do have a weapon to slow down the Speedster.
The
But yeah,
lady in red, they said, didn't they?
Yeah.
So in Armageddon, was it Ryan Wilder that said it?
Ryan Wilder said it, yeah.
Yeah, we used it to take down the lady in red, which is probably Eric Wallace hinting at the future. And so what is the lady in red? You can only assume that's Red Death because it's literally a lady in a red suit. So
and then also that wouldn't make sense as well, because Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman fought the Red Death, so it can't really be Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman.
yeah, exactly. So maybe it's a Red Death is a Batwoman from another timeline that they fought, that came to their timeline originally, and now has hopped over to our timeline, potentially following our Barry, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly the explanation, but we're hoping for those explanations in tonight's episode about Red Death because we want to know more, and we are running out of time. We only have this episode, and we have next week's episode, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, also, this is my final point that I wrote down about tonight's episode. We have the Rogues and Batwoman and Team Flash versus the Rogues and Red Death. So I feel like our team is like pretty stacked, but it really depends on how powerful Red Death is, like compared to Barry. If she can take away his speed every time she's near him, that's a bad thing.
Overpowered, yeah.
That's OP. And Barry's going to be pretty useless. And so that's where maybe Iris comes in with that gun. If she gets that gun from Batwoman or something, and maybe she's able to stop it. I think that's going to trigger a lot of people. I can just imagine it already.
I just want to see some Goldface action, bro.
Yeah, so we're going to have the good rogues in some ways in this episode as well. And then it's going to be interesting what happens to Mark. I was kind of shocked like that Red Death didn't go further. I know Mark is a series regular, the actor, and he's going to be in the whole season. But like in that scene, Red Death was very intimidating. I was like, okay, if that was like Zoom, I'm pretty sure Zoom would have killed them. But
they all should have died, in my opinion, though. That's just what I believe.
Yeah, like when, we had the face off and Barry, came face to face. Surely she should have just like killed Barry and everyone on the spot, especially Barry, because she incapacitated Barry literally by taking his powers away. But I guess it's a TV show and we need the Flash. Canagrove says, since we have Red Death, it's is there a blue life, and is it in fact Bebo? Will it be Viva that defeats Red Death with Cuddles? Very likely that Bebo could be the one. What do you think, Flashverse, for your professional opinion?
This is how they're going. Nah, Canada Grabs. I never said that, bro. I want to see Goldface action. That's what I said. But nah. So basically, what they're gonna do is they're gonna use the power of love. So Goldface, Jacob Birch, who else is there? Hartley and Barry. They're all gonna use the power of love. So Barry with Iris, Goldface for Amunet, Hotness for his, for Fiddler, I guess, and Hartley for Roderick. They're gonna use the power of love, combine that power of love, and they're gonna become like a big massive Bebo and fight Red Death like that.
I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past Eric Wallace to use the power of love. Maybe it's going to be Bebo. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's move on to talk about the set photos from the Flash season 9 finale.
If Eric Wallace is writing it, it's not going to be a big Bebo. It's going to be a big Iris. It's going to be like a big Iris doll.
Wow. Imagine. So many people would be triggered. Oh, God. Okay, so let's talk about the season 9 finale photos. These are some of the last photos that we're going to be having. I'm just pulling up Canadagrass's blog, see if we can show like maybe 1 or 2 photos. But we know in this from a bunch of set photos from literally everyone that was at any of the sets. I'm going to show it on the screen right here that we have Godspeed returning in this episode. We have Reverse Flash returning. It is not Matt Letcher's Reverse Flash. It is Tom Cavanaugh's Reverse Flash. Oh my God, I blanked for a second there. But they're also alongside a version of Savitar and also Cobalt Blue, who has been revealed. Plus, Zoom is back. And Teddy Sears is the one under the suit. It's not just a stunt double. All right, this came from Canadagraphs, and I'll post the blog in the chat, and it'll be in the description as well. And yeah, so these are the set photos that we are looking at. So this is just one photo. I'll scroll through to one of like the whole villain team.
I want to get your thoughts on this. You know, when I sent you the text message, like "wake up, wake up, wake up," when you saw that, what was your reaction?
Well, basically, guys, for context, he sent me a message and he was like, "Bro, wake up, wake up, wake up," and I was like, "Oh, what?" Like, it's like an emergency, right? So I was like, "Oh my God," and I saw it and I was like, "Wow!" Like, I saw the photos, and the thing for me that made me go, "What the?" was definitely seeing Savitar. Like his full-on costume, I love it. They used that costume at the end of season 3, but it was literally for a couple of episodes, and so we barely saw many set photos from it, and so it's so cool. And seeing him red, it's like gave me so many ideas. It's like, why is he red? You know. But beyond that, obviously the cobalt blue of it all. Wow, super excited to see cobalt blue. And guys, let us know in the chat, what do you think about this? And if you have any big burning questions, send in super chats, and we'll be sure to answer them right here. So yeah, what was your reaction when you saw them?
I'm pretty sure it was Arrowverse that sent it. First I saw the cobalt blue only. I'm like, yo, this is sick.
Yeah.
I already thought that cobalt blue was going to be the villain anyways, because we kept seeing the crystal and we kept seeing Eddie. So I wasn't really too surprised seeing cobalt blue, but it was really cool. The suit looked comic accurate. But seeing all of those villains come back was nuts. Especially the one I'm like about was Wells aboard, which he is my favorite version of Reverse Flash, so I'm not gonna complain. But we should have had Matt Letcher in this lineup as well. But I think they're gonna save him for later on in the episode, in my opinion.
You think Matt Letcher is gonna show up? I swear there was rumors that he was going to be the one to show up.
He was confirmed to appear in one of the episodes, either 12 or 13. But the thing is,
confirmed by a legit source.
Yes. So, but the thing is, out of any of those characters, he is the most important one.
Yeah.
So definitely. That's why he needs to be in later on in the episode.
His own episode. Yeah. Not just facing off against Cobalt Blue and the rest of the Flash's villains, because he is, well, if you guys remember, going back to that night that Barry's mum was killed, it's not Tom Cavanagh's Reverse Flash, it's Matt Letcher's Reverse Flash. So that's going to be big for, how they end the show. Okay, we'll talk about this more, but we have a super chat from Terrence. Thank you very much, Terrence, for the $9.99 super chat. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for the super chat. Terrence says, I'm surprised they didn't have Barry remember hearing about Red Death in Nora's memories. They had him remember hearing about the Vo, though. So what do we think about this?
But how's he going to know what Red Death looked like? He only heard the name.
Yeah, that's true. That is very important. He never knew what Red Death looked like. Also, he had no idea it had any links to Batwoman or Batman in any way. So that bat symbol is just a big throw off for him and everyone. And so
I think. Sorry,
yeah.
continue.
No. It's just like the red color is the only indicator, but it was such a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I think the only time Barry would have probably clocked was when Goldface said Red Death,
Hmm.
but that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Matt Letcher was here for episode 11 or 12, Canada Graph says. So that's the previous episodes before the finale. So maybe they
So,
properly wrap up the story in regards to the overall Flash series, with
yeah.
the Nora stuff in the previous episodes, along with like
I'm just wondering,
John
is
Wesley
it
Shipp and
possible?
stuff.
Go on. Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, no, I finished it. It's fine.
I was just wondering, is it possible for him to film some scenes for the finale while he was doing episode 11 and 12 as well?
Yeah, there's always a chance, right? I mean, we won't know until we see it, unless
Yeah, true.
Canada Graph knows anything. But I guess there's always the chance. Okay, thank you very much for the super chat, Terrence. Terrence also sends in a second super chat. Once again, thank you, Terrence. I appreciate it. Terrence says, true, but when Goldface said Red Death, I feel like he should have remembered. So when did Goldface say Red Death in the episode? Did he know
Like
about it?
he was talking about some like just like a mythical story or something like that. It had nothing to do with Red Death
The Red
itself.
Death, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He just mentioned Red Death. But
Oh, I get you, Terrence. You're saying when he said the Red Death, Barry's mind should have instantly gone, whoa, I heard that
yeah,
name before,
exactly.
right? That's what you're saying. I understand that, Terrence, but I
Mhm.
have to say it's a while ago. Barry goes through a lot, so I think we can give him a pass, maybe.
And also Eric Wallace's priority is Cecile and Barry and Iris's child this season, so he probably didn't remember. But again, the thing is, he only said they rewatched season 1 to just find any loose ends. They didn't rewatch the whole show as well. So if there's anything left like that they need to tie a bow, and it's going to be something season 1 related, not anything else. So
Yeah.
and he
So,
wasn't showrunner for season 5 as well. So
yeah,
I
exactly.
doubt he would
So
have known.
if they're wrapping up stuff, they're probably going to wrap up, the full circle stuff in terms of the beginning of the show.
Exactly.
But thank you very much for both your super chats, Terrence. I really appreciate them and your support towards the channel. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to this. So, what are we thinking with Red Savitar? Let's talk about Red Savitar specifically.
Do I mention my theory or your theory?
You could go your theory, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, most of you guys watching probably watch my video on Red Death. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Let's go with
So yeah,
yours first.
I stole Ben's video as well, but I have a different theory. Now, I could be completely wrong over here, completely wrong, but this is what I think it is. So we know Red Death, so not Red Death, sorry. We know Savitar, when he was first introduced, he had the blue suit, basically. He had like a very, very light blue suit. Now, as we know, prior to the death of the Speed Force, and prior to the death of the Speed Force, whenever Barry entered the Speed Force, it was always blue. So, and we know Savitar's suit, it's not only like very connected to the Speed Force, it helps him boost his speed, and that's evident through the fact that when Savitar Barry enters the Savitar suit, his lightning completely changes. Not only is there like a very like light blue glow, but also his lightning just completely turns white, showing like how connected to the Speed Force he becomes. And the Savitar suit through the Philosopher's Stone, and like I believe it's made of like Speed Force material as well, something like that. That's why he had the blue glow and obviously the white lightning, because of how connected he was. Now, after the death of the Speed Force, aka when Barry and Iris used the power of love to rebirth the Speed Force or create a completely new Speed Force, this
Yeah.
all changes because whenever we saw the Flash run into the Speed Force after that, the Speed Force was red. It wasn't blue anymore. And I think Savitar's suit goes the same way, because you have to think post-crisis, the old Speed Force doesn't exist anymore. It's like post-crisis, even if Barry created the Speed Force in season 7, this would have been the Speed Force that existed since the freaking Big Bang, because it exists beyond space-time, right? So
Yeah.
this Speed Force would have pretty much been the one that's the Speed Force, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's what I
And
think is
Nathan
behind
points
it.
out that Savitar's suit's made of calcified or like
Yeah, exactly.
fortified Speed Force energy or something along those lines. Yeah, I feel like I pretty much agree that your theory is very plausible. And we know, like you said, Savitar's suit is literally super linked to the Speed Force. So, I mean, I think the red color definitely signifies something.
I mean, there are two other options as well.
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
like for example in season 3, which I very, very highly doubt, but it's when is that page Eric trolling
Well,
in the chat? But when we saw Barry enter the Savitar suit, like the suit turned red just like that, which
bruh,
I doubt it is.
bruh, Paigey.
Which
Legit.
I doubt it is Barry, but again, it's a thing that they established. But
Yeah.
also, it could simply be them using the negative Speed Force as well. If Red Death is not the Speed Force avatar, I think she is. But if Cobalt Blue is the Speed Force avatar, like they teased in season 8, this would
Mhm.
explain the change in color and all that. It could be because all of them are using the negative Speed Force, including Zoom, including Godspeed. No,
Yeah.
not really Godspeed. Godspeed would still be normal because he's in Iron Heights. He could easily escape. But the others, they're all erased from existence. Zoom became the Black Flash. So Cobalt Blue, he uses this crystal. It's kind of like Spider-Man though.
What? Are you just looking at Paigey's made loads of fake accounts?
Yeah. So I was saying, it's kind of like Spider-Man No Way Home in a way, where Cobalt Blue brings these villains, but from a point in time before they got erased from existence. Or
Mhm.
in the case of Zoom, before he became the Black Flash. And again, if he is the negative Speed Force avatar, then I think they're all using the negative Speed Force. Eobard, he anyways does.
Yeah.
Godspeed doesn't need to because he's the only one that's pretty much properly alive.
Mhm.
And the other two are erased from existence. So that's just what I think.
Yeah. Anyway, pretty much agreeing on that. The bot in the chat is Paigey, basically trying to skimp off of you guys to steal the viewers and go over to his live stream. Stick around, guys, and then you can go join his stream afterwards. Yeah, so we're on our final leg of this live stream. So if you have any final super chats you want to send in or any final comments, please be sure to send them in right now. And yeah, we're going to talk about the last couple of things. So, are we excited for this finale? I say, from everything we've been seeing, from Cobalt Blue to Godspeed to Reverse Flash to Zoom to Savitar to, literally all of the huge announcements one by one, I feel like surely it's going to end with a banger. It seems like a
Yeah.
banger, and I would be very disappointed if it's not a banger.
Yeah. It looks like the craziest episode we're ever gonna get in The Flash. So I am very excited. But also
Yeah.
I need to because like I was very hyped for Red Death, but then we saw the end result so far. Well, we didn't see the end result yet. We're nearly in the end result and it's not really the best. So I'm not gonna say anything before I actually see it.
Yeah. Also, the coolest part, Canograph says,
That's
Chilblain,
another thing.
Allegra, Keown, and Cecile. Many people thought Cecile was Nicole Maines' dreamer because of the new costume,
Yeah.
but no.
There are two things I'm very, very worried about in
What?
this finale. One is Zoom. And the reason why I'm worried about Zoom is because he's a serial killer, right? He's not like a villain like the others. He's a serial
Yeah.
killer that's thirsty for speed. It's going to be interesting to see how Zoom works with all of those speedsters because
Without
if
stealing their speed.
and without trying to kill them, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm worried about. Because like it would be so weird if they just bring them in and then they just have a fight like that. Because Zoom is not working with those speedsters. There needs to be something which convinces him to do so. Secondly, if they depower any of these speedsters to give these characters a good moment,
Yeah.
that's another thing.
What?
That's what I was saying. If they depowered them to give these characters a good moment, Chilblain, Allegra, Keon, if they even land a shot, I will be pissed off. Which I know they will, but
Imagine if Cecile lands a shot and takes down Savitar, or like Zoom, or
Oh.
imagine she stops Reverse Flash. Oh my god.
I'm just like,
Would you
why
lose
could
it? You would lose it, wouldn't you?
I would lose it, especially if it's Cecile that does it.
Imagine if Cecile's the one to stop everything, to just like fully take down everyone. My god.
See, Allegra is the only one out of this bunch. Maybe Chilblain as well, but
Yeah.
Allegra is the only one out of this bunch that I don't mind being there. The others, in my opinion, shouldn't.
Yeah.
Nora
I
makes
think
sense. Nora should be there, and I guess Barry would kind of be depowered in a way as well because he has a daughter to protect as well in this fight.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. But I'm just wondering why couldn't the other speedsters come back as well, like the good ones.
like they should have
Jay
brought
Garrick,
back who do you think?
Jay Garrick, I think is in the finale or something like that because Teddy Sears did post something on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. But Bart's not coming back.
He's not at all. Do you
I
not
don't
think?
think so.
He
He's
doesn't
doing a
look
show
like he
somewhere
would
else, I
want to.
think, or something like that. So I don't know.
I
It would be
know.
interesting.
He's doing a Broadway show.
Yeah. So I
Do we
think
know
that's why
anything
they had
about
to.
Cisco?
Cisco?
Yeah.
No. I think maybe for Cisco, because Cisco doesn't really require any outdoor filming. So Cisco is a character that could easily sneak in without anything getting leaked, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like Matt Letcher last season. Like no one knew it was happening. Cisco is probably the only character they could do it. But again, if they don't, then they could easily do what they did with Brandon Routh later on in season 8, where it's just like a TV screen of like a talk with a chat between Team Flash and the Atom. They could do that as well.
Yeah, it could be like a tiny cameo where it's like, oh, maybe they weren't able to come up to Vancouver and then they just did like a small call,
Exactly, yeah.
with some advice from Cisco or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, okay. So last couple of things, we'll go through the chat and anything else we want to add, we will. Yeah, go raid Paige's stream and tell everyone that we're streaming.
Should we copy paste like a bunch of things as well?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Go ahead, guys. Okay, we have one final super chat from Terrence Matthews. Thank you once again for the third super chat. I really appreciate it, Terrence. Terrence says, I'm not a fan of the Keone twist. Frost get a good finale while it feels like they just unceremoniously killed off Caitlyn. You know what? I have to agree. I am not opposed to Keone. I think it's a little bit cringe sometimes, some of her dialogue. But I agree with the Caitlyn point that I feel like, yes, she chose to do it, but at the same time, we never really got to say goodbye to her. She just went in that machine and that's it, right?
Caitlyn was done dirtiest out of any character in the Arrowverse. I will even say she was done worse than what they did with Laurel, with killing her off.
Yeah.
She was done completely dirty. This is a character you had since Arrow season 2, not even the Flash season 1. This is a character we had in Arrow season 2, and she didn't even get a proper goodbye. They're just like,
And she didn't
Caitlyn's dead.
even
Oh,
get to save Frost. It's
exactly.
someone entirely different, unconnected from them. So it's just a bit like, oh, what's the point? So I get that, Terrence, that you're not a fan of it. I feel like a lot of people aren't a fan because we've been with Caitlyn and Frost for a long time. Caitlyn since the start of the show, Frost since like season 3 or something.
Yeah, season
3.
We
got introduced to a different version of Frost in season 2 on Earth 2, which was awesome, by the way. I love those. That Frost, she was proper dark. And yeah, so I agree. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate the support once again, Terrence, and good question. Hello, I'm Brazilian. Welcome, Bruno. I think this episode 4 will be very good. Let's hope. So later tonight, guys, if you want to tune in, me and Flashverse right here, we're going to be on his channel. We're going to be doing a watch party as we go ahead and watch, and we'll give our reactions because we're literally watching with you guys, and there'll be a timer so you know exactly where we're at. So yeah, it's going to be cool. And then my video review will go out within like an hour after the episode comes out, and Flashverse's review will be out just shortly after the next day, because he takes his good time to get that good review in, guys. And I'm like the Flash when it comes to reviews, I guess.
And I always watch the episode twice to like have a
So
proper judgment as well.
yeah, he has proper judgment. I feel like my reviews are like, I give my judgment, but I kind of, you know, mainly breaking down, I guess. But that's just kind of what I'm used to.
Because when we get to the episode 9 watch party, like all you're gonna see is me just crying my eyes out seeing Oliver Queen there. I won't be able to properly focus. So,
well, when we see Nia now back on screen, I'm gonna be screaming. So that's gonna be cool. And then imagine if Melissa comes back as Supergirl. That's gonna be your best clip out of all the watch parties. It's gonna be me going. That's gonna be you for Oliver, and then that's me for Supergirl. We'll have to. We can only hope, guys. We can only hope. Cal, a member of the channel, welcome, Cal. Cal says, hopefully in the series finale we get that full circle moment where we see Barry go back to that night. I mean, that's all I can personally hope for. I hope it happens. It's been just like the no-brainer ending of the show for a long time since it first happened. Like, it just makes sense. So hopefully it happens. But yeah, so that pretty much does it for this live stream, guys. Thank you all for watching, and now you can go ahead and watch my latest video. I just uploaded one prior to this stream. Go check out Flashverse's channel, and once again, we're going to be live streaming later tonight on, you know, on the new episode as it comes out. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later tonight for my video review of episode 4, and yeah, so for now, we'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.